First topic is rate of a chemical reaction. So in physics, rate means speed. So in physics, we will measure speed by displacement by time taken or distance by time taken. In case of chemistry, so rate of reaction is measured by, definition is change in concentration of reactant or product involved in a chemical reaction per unit time is called as a rate of the reaction. So rate of the reaction definition is change in concentration of reactant or product involved in a chemical reaction per unit time. So formula is rate is equal to change in concentration of reactant by change in time. It is a formula for rate. So why I mention negative sign? So in most of the chemical reaction, general chemical reaction, I mention A plus B gives C plus D. So reactant is converted into product. While reactant is converted into product means definitely reactant concentration is decreases in the left hand side. So beginning reactant has more concentration. Before starting the reaction, reactant will be more. After completion of the reaction, reactant concentrations decreases, product concentration is increases. Because of this, in case of reactant, they mention negative sign. The reason is decrease in the concentration of reactant. Suppose consider one example. It is given in a textbook. A gives B. So in this equation, I mentioned rate means change in concentration of reactant and product in a reaction per unit time. So changing. Suppose you consider concentration of reactant. Here reactant is A. So A is measured at different time intervals. Suppose A is measured at two time intervals T1 and T2. T1 is initial, T2 is final. Suppose initial always is 0 because before starting the experiment time is 0. After completion you take, suppose example 10 minutes. So always final is greater than initial. So T2 is always greater than T1. So we may consider two time intervals T1 and T2. So concentration also considered as A1 and A2. So T2 is always greater than T1 means definitely A2 concentration of final product is always greater than initial product. So for this rate of the reaction is minus. So I will measure the difference final minus initial. So final concentration is A2, initial concentration is A1. So minus concentration of A2 minus concentration of A1 divided by change in. So difference in take it as delta T. So this one is take it as delta. So minus of del A by del T. So it is for concentration of reactant. Suppose you will write for product, then the rate is plus, no need to mention plus, delta of dV by delta T. In case of, so no need to mention this plus sign for product. So always why I mention negative sign is because decrease in the concentration, that's why I mention negative sign. So these are all about the rate of the reaction. Next one is, how will you measure unit of a reaction? Unit of rate of reaction. So rate is nothing but concentration by time taken. So concentration always is expressed in mole per liter. Time is always expressed in seconds. So on inversion, reciprocal, mole per liter per second. It is an unit for rate of the reaction. It is an unit for rate of the reaction. Mole per liter per second. They will ask you one more question. Which one of the following is a unit of rate constant or rate of the reaction? It is in terms, it is for concentration, the unit is mole per liter per second. Suppose if the unit they will asking pressure, in terms of partial pressure, the unit is rate is equal to atmosphere per second. It is a unit in terms of partial pressure for rate of the reaction. So rate is equal to atmosphere per second. So these are all about the unit. And next topic is stoichiometry and rate of the reaction. Stoichiometry and rate of the reaction.